Hooray for having to redo a part because you forgot about a phone call. So, yeah, not my first time recording this entire part of the game, but let's just leave it at that and move on. It being a Tuesday night, we can get another rank up for the Devil Social Link. Not quite another one of the neglected links, because we've been doing it quite a lot lately. Now that we have a lot of free Tuesdays. I mean, earlier in the game we didn't really have much in the way of free Tuesdays, but now I can spend as much time with this rich jerk as we want. In fact, though, this link is almost done. I might even be able to max this one out next week. Huh, well, I'm sure you were very pleased about that. And I'm sure Gary Stu was very pleased about that. Yeah, only you would say something like that. Oddly enough, though, this is actually the option that gives you the most quote-unquote points with him, even though the points don't matter here. Yeah, I get your Freudian excuse, but that just doesn't... If anything, it means you should understand how it feels to be laughed at, so you shouldn't be the one doing that to other people. Huh. Well, he's listening. He definitely liked being the head of a major company. Then again, he doesn't really need that to attract girls. And the comedic threats have stopped too, it seems. So yeah, this is now rank 9. One more and this will be done. Don't you mean the less fortunate? But I don't know, maybe he's starting to possibly vaguely consider changing? Maybe. And once again, we get the item from his show right after that. Brand watch, but it's the 5 snuff soul that I really want. And no phone call tonight, and really no harm in studying. Gonna have to make sure to not study on Thursday night, because Friday I'm gonna go ahead and... Well, actually, it's probably jumping the gun a little bit to talk about that. So we move on into the beginning of September. Oh, hey, Junpei's back here. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think she really needs someone right now. And, well, we're going straight to lunchtime, which means we're going to be getting some social link recaps, I guess. Though I do know who we'll be seeing today. You haven't actually shown up at lunchtime for a little while, but still, I really don't think we should be going about this investigation the way that you are, but you're really not going to listen to reason at all at this point. And it's only going to get even worse. Oh, and Yuko. Oh, I feel so bad about this. We actually don't see her until the very day before the full moon. So, yeah. We'll just humor her for now, but unfortunately, Gary Stu is focusing on other chicks at this point. Oh, hey, Keisuke. We are, however, not coming to club today. So, with that out of the way, no plot today, and as tempting as it is to see Yukari, today, we are actually going to do Emperor again. We've neglected that social link for so long that we may as well go back to it, and I'm still making the mistake about the PA room. It's a student council room. And once again, we don't actually need King Frost here. You'll get the same amount of, well, I mean, you need the same amount of points for the next rank up regardless whether or not you have it, so it's not really that big a deal. Oh, we're starting out with this music. That's not a good sign. Well, he's officially lost all sense of logic. I mean, yeah, sure, but it's pretty unlikely. So now you've accused everyone in the student council, and are saying things like that. Once again, though, we have to agree with him. I mean, I suppose this might be why he doesn't call to hang out on Sundays. Yeah, he may seem like a major jerk at this point. Don't worry, he does get better, but it takes a while into the link before he starts showing character development. This is one of those social links that, if I was playing blind, I would definitely screw this one up on my first playthrough, because really, I don't know, it's just, the options just aren't ones that would naturally occur to me. You have to agree with him being a complete Knight Templar to get the most points. And he never calls you to hang out on weekends, so there's no real make-up time either. I consider it to be one of the more difficult social links, personally. But that's just me. A little while since the last full moon. And that's all you have to say. What else is going on around here? Anyone on the news? Nothing. Okay. I guess... yeah, you're still saying the same thing, so we're still locked out of Tartarus. You're still saying the same thing. I'm pretty sure you've already said that. And Fuka's here. Yeah, but thankfully she doesn't seem violently unstable like the others do, so... here's hoping things go well with her. So today being a Wednesday evening, it's time to go out and do some quizzes. Well, not very soon. I mean, it does take a while to raise academics. Once it does, this is the last rank up we need, and from that point on, we're gonna have pretty much nothing to do in the evenings after we max out Devil and Tower. So, yeah, I will say that's kind of part of the game where things get a little bit less interesting. I'll talk about that a lot later. It's not until pretty much the very end, but there is a point where you start having very little to do with your days. So that is a bit where the game does tend to drag a little. And evenings in particular, like studying doesn't have any effect when you're max academic, so you have nothing to do but just sleep every night. And here is why I had to re-record this, because I thought this didn't matter. It actually does. We do need to see her this Sunday. And we have Gunga, so let's accept the offer. Again, it begs the question of why didn't they ask us themselves, because they live with us, but maybe they just didn't want other people to know. Anyway, tomorrow night I'll have to make sure that we do not study. Okay, no tiredness, so that gives us a chance of hitting great condition. I mean, admittedly, once you run out of things to do in the evenings, you are pretty much in great condition permanently for the rest of the playthrough, so that does help in Tartarus. Morning. This probably means either a lecture or... yes, it's a lecture. Ah, and here's one of the few in-class answers that I didn't need to research at all. I wonder what this was like in the Japanese version, because this should be common sense to most people in Japan. And asking Junpei, admittedly, it does make sense that he'd be a bit not so knowledgeable on this, seeing as he's a reverse weeb. So this, anyone who's taken even like one class of Japanese, this is pretty much the first thing they teach you, so it should be pretty obvious to anyone who's done that. But I'll just say all of these. Ojama shimasu is excuse me. It's what you say when you feel like you're intruding. You have to say it when you enter someone's house as well. Itadakimasu is what you say before you eat, and Gochisou-sama is what you say after eating, so it's this one. I guess it kind of is. Also, it takes quite a lot more, probably years of Japanese classes before you learn what itadakimasu actually means. It's keigo for to receive. It's kind of more like a verb ending than an actual word in itself, but it's basically like, I humbly receive. But anyway, important plot event.
Yo, Chitterita.
Don't call me that.
Well, okay then, let's add that to Pitu and Tiberhoods on the list of embarrassing nicknames people don't like being called.
Come on, cheer up. I brought you a new sketchbook. I thought your old one might be getting full.
It wasn't necessary, Junpei.
You said my name. I was worried I'd never hear that again.
Any luck?
She finally started talking, but nothing useful yet.
Well, that's a start. So, why are you here?
Chidori, what's wrong?
A persona!
Chidori!
Relax, it happens. They're not like us. They can't fully control their personas. That's why they need to take suppressants, to keep their personas from killing them.
Suppressants? You know about Strega?
You'd be surprised what you can learn on the streets. I'll give the doc the right pills. The rest is up to you.
Shinji, wait! Hey!
Junpei?
Oh, thank God. I thought you might be.
Why do you look so scared? Death is nothing to be afraid of.
What are you saying?
Dying just means you don't wake up anymore. That's all.
What? You don't really mean that, do you? I don't want you to die, Chidori.
Junpei,
Just because you're not afraid doesn't mean no one else is. Did you ever think about how I might feel?
you're so weird, Junpei.
Look who's talking.
I think Mitsuru has the right idea. Let's leave those two alone for now.
Hey, wait! Shinji! What the hell's going on? Why did you have those pills? I've heard about those.
They're taken to suppress a persona when the user can't control it. But the side effects... You're not taking them, are you? Answer me!
I don't owe you anything.
The same as always.
Save it. I've heard it all before. You think I'm wasting my power, but you're just too thick-headed. I'm tired of your damn preaching.
Don't you get it? You know the reason. 10 years ago, my sister, the fire. I wasn't strong enough to save her. They held me back while she... That's why I try so hard. We promised, remember? To become strong enough to do what we think is right. So why the drugs? Why didn't you come talk to me?
I'm back in the fight now. So let it go.
And the side effects?
There's something I need to take care of. It's something only I can do.
Like what?
Listen, don't worry about me. Just do what you think is right.
And well, after all that, it's back into social link time. So yeah, Mood Whiplash. Hi, Igus. Well, you could say Junpei's making progress. I love that line. So, lots of things are happening at the moment. I'll probably talk more about once we get back to the dorm, because for now, we actually have a social link to do today. It's another one that we haven't done for a little while, and it's Kenji. Well, he's really not himself today. Thankfully, we have the Raw bus, so let's meet with him. You can always come to Garius when you have romantic troubles. Except not, because he'll probably just try and steal your waifu. Something's really wrong here, though. He's definitely in trouble. Okay, just calm down and talk about it. Oh, alright then. So here, both of these two are fine, as long as you don't say that's your problem. So, I like saying you should talk to her. I mean, that makes sense, but... Wow, not only the plot, but even a formerly comedic social link is taking a turn for the dark now. I mean, this was pretty easy to see coming, and... But, still, it is a pretty hard thing for Kenji to have to go through. But, just like our own Magician Arcana member, maybe he will learn from this hard experience too. We're at rank 8 now. We're definitely getting up there. So, now after that, it's the evening time. Wonder who'll be greeting us today. Oh, actually, someone very awesome will be greeting us today. This has been a long time coming, but I guess we had a lot of plot events, and we also needed to get back into school social links. But Elizabeth has called to inform us that we can access the next area of Tartarus now. That also means a whole slew of new side quests are available. And I'll be trying to accept one of them tonight, because there's one we might be able to take care of tomorrow, which is another reason I had to re-record this segment, because I forgot about that. Now, who's going to read us?
Welcome back.
Oh, it's Mitsuru, okay. Yeah, that feels like the right thing to do. Only 3 left, and Junpei's certainly making progress with Chidori. I wouldn't exactly say that, but let's just say we've found a better lead on this. Yeah, looks like some truths have finally come to light. So, I think at this point, you should understand why Shinjiro was talking to Strega all that time ago, the exchange that he was doing with them. He was getting those suppressants. As for why he wants the suppressants, well, at this point we have enough information to figure that out too, probably. And you aren't saying anything different, I don't think. Well, I don't think we're really the one in charge of that. Shinjiro Mori is, so you should take that up with him. Don't let the other people see you when you do that, though, because he's a little sensitive about that. No, not all of us. So now they're talking about Virgo people. When I saw this, I was like, okay, just make sure that you don't stand too close to the mirror, otherwise you will have the opposite of good luck and very, very, very painful hands. Also, I like talking to Shinjiro on this evening. Silent protagonist lampshade hanging, gotta love it. Also, if we go upstairs, we can find Junpei, where he'll have a new conversation. Well, hearing you say that out of the blue is a little awkward, but, you know, I don't think that is that awkward. He actually agrees with you regardless of what you say here. But yeah, that whole sequence with Chidori as well. Now, if you know that a persona is another aspect of yourself, of your own psyche, the fact that her persona occasionally tries to kill her, that implies something. But the fact that Strega even have personas but can't control them is also somewhat significant. We won't be learning why that's the case until a little later, but keep that in mind for now. So today we're actually not going to be doing Game Panic. I believe we might be ready for another rank up on this social link. Devil is almost done, which means we'll actually have, well, we won't have more time dedicated. Well, actually we will, because we won't need to spend Saturdays on Devil, but we're not spending Saturdays on Devil anyway, so I'm contradicting myself repeatedly, ignore me. Oh, right, okay, I can actually go to the Velvet Room and accept the request tomorrow, that's fine. Just gotta remember to do that. So, this is actually a new rank up, which is cool. I've always heard that eyes are a much better indicator of how someone's really feeling than their smile. Which is why a lot of Asian emoticons focus more on the eyes than the mouth, which is kind of interesting. They say that the best way to tell if a smile is fake or not is to look at the eyes. This line, I like this line, because this line pretty much sums up Persona 4 completely, but yeah. Not that relevant here. Yeah, he's coming here to escape troubles too. Everyone here is just running away. I mean, I don't know. That might freak out a lot of people. Well, just as long as it doesn't make prayer beads contract around our forehead. Okay. So, beyond high school age, and that's pretty depressing. Yeah, I can tell that he does almost see a lot of his son in the protagonist. Another rank up for Tower. I do like how Persona 4 streamlined the rank up animation a lot better. That may have only been in Golden, I'm not sure. But, yep, we are at level 7, and we still have not made a single Tower Persona yet. It's kind of, I don't know, I'm not actually, I mean, a lot of them are very high-leveled anyway, but I'm not a particularly big fan of most of the Tower Arcana Personas. I will have to make one of them eventually, one that I'm not really looking forward to making, but other than that... cynical as always. And I better remember to sleep early tonight, because I promised that I'd do that. Because it's a lot of the tower ones, they're mostly physical based. They're pretty similar to Chariot and Strength, which at this point we kind of have access to better ones. They also tend to use more high risk, high reward type attacks. I don't know, it's a bit weird. Like, some people might like tower personas. I've never really been that big a fan of most of them. I mean, aside from, this is getting ahead of myself a little bit, but aside from its hard item, I'm not a particularly big fan of the Ultimate Tower one either. Well, he has his reasons, we have ours, is basically what he keeps insisting, but he certainly has a lot of power. Also, that thing he said in that cutscene. That thing about there being something that only he can do? Doesn't that sound very similar to something else we've heard lately? Well, morning means most likely we've got another lecture. And hey, it's this guy again. I just realized I can probably go to the nurse's office and hear the second part of his, You know, maybe I could space those out week by week. So anyway, now, originally when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, Magic and Renaissance is a little bit of an oxymoron, because wasn't the Renaissance an era where people were trying to go past superstitious things? But as it turns out... yeah, I do remember learning this in university literature classes, that the Renaissance is basically a time when Greek and Roman literature was really in again, basically. Then there's this, which I've actually looked at a little bit. Then I went and researched this guy because of seeing him here. Apparently the reason why he wanted to try and talk to angels was he was trying to find some kind of universal language that would allow all of humanity to communicate. He was also a mathematician as well, so... and he apparently saw all of those pursuits as just various different ways of reaching the same goal. Haven't heard about this guy, though. Yeah, well, that makes sense. This is actually all pretty good history lesson as well. And, well, I mean, the school's already haunted, so let's avoid the house being haunted as well. Even though the dorm did get attacked much earlier in the game. And this one, I confess that in my first playthrough I wasn't actually paying attention here, but I could easily get this by process of elimination, because you've asked about this one already, and this one's obviously wrong, so it's this. I will say that this book actually has some slight significance to the lore of a Persona in this game. Not really fully plot relevant, but it's nice to know. I'll be bringing that up later. And let's see who's available today. Kenji, but unfortunately we're not seeing him. Though I'm not heartless enough to say, can it wait? Gary Sue might be, though. And you again. Not really. And whenever I see that guy, I keep thinking about in the Persona 3 protagonist being a jerk comic that I still can't find, which is really annoying. But I do warn you that if anyone here does find it, it does contain endgame spoilers, but it's pretty hilarious. I do remember the bit when it talks about... We're not seeing Fuka today anyway. Where it talks about that, the Emperor social link, he's going like, smoker must catch, and then it just cuts to the protagonist smoking in the boys' bathroom. So, today we're actually going to be seeing Kaz. However, first... Oh, hi Junpei, what are you doing here? Well, I mean, I suppose she's not really doing very much, considering she's confined to a hospital bed. So, let's just bring up the map, because I want to accept a request from Elizabeth first. Just to free up our list of requests before we go into Tartarus. I mean, we can technically do this at any time, because there's no deadline on this one, but I just want to get it out of the way as soon as I can. It's very similar to the Queen Elizabeth request that we had before. Very, very similar. In fact, I think the Queen Elizabeth request is a prerequisite to this one. While we're here, we'll also be getting a sneak peek at a few other new side quests that we have available to us. So, we have a few more of these. These ones are always good to just accept immediately because you don't want to forget about them. You only have one day in the whole game to do these. So we have a fruit knife and oil. We also have... Oh great, it's another one of these rare chest katana requests. Thankfully those don't have deadlines on them. Also have the 6 old document, some items that we can get from rare shadows. This, which we can actually do now, this is what we're concerned with though, the beautiful tile. Small square tiles in your world with peacocks on them. Now, it's a bit of a cryptic hint, but there's really only one place in the game that something like that would be, and I already showed it earlier when we were dealing with the Queen Elizabeth request. It's very, very similar. Another one of these locations that serves zero purpose other than to complete one of Elizabeth's requests. And once again, you require a max stat. Now, I'm pretty sure that I got it wrong last time. I think you need max charm to get the Queen Elizabeth. You need max courage for this one. And the reason why you need max courage is a bit of interesting cultural trivia that I'd like to talk about once we get there. Once again, it's at Port Island Station, and once again, we have to go where the wrong crowd hang out. Are you saying anything important? Ha 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 ha. Was she talking about Gary Stu or the person next to her? I don't know. If she's talking about Gary Stu, then, well, he's way ahead of you there. Oh, okay. So this is actually relating to exactly what we're going to be doing. Oh, that's also a hint. I actually had no idea that NPC was giving us a hint to this. So, complete coincidence, but yeah, we're going to do that now. It's the Mahjong Parlor. So, yeah, you need max courage for this. The reason why is that in Western culture, Mahjong is generally considered a game that old ladies play and a fairly harmless thing. In most Asian cultures, Mahjong is considered a hardcore gambling game that it is extremely inappropriate to teach children about. So, yeah, pretty big difference there. Scissors. Okay, wow. And we get the Mahjong tile from that. And from now on, we can't go back in. So, Gary Stu manages to cure a man of his gambling addiction by sheer luck. Yeah, that's pretty insane. So anyway. we're going to head back and give Elizabeth this peacock tile, which is what she wanted. I'm looking forward to what she has to say here, because in fact, I actually have not seen it before. This is the very first time I'll ever be completing this request, because I don't think I ever did these in my first playthrough. I don't think I even did the Funky School Music one. I think I mentioned that earlier. I made an effort to complete most of the requests on my first playthrough, but a lot of these random ones I just didn't really get around to doing. There is one of these that comes later that's quite annoying. Don't know if it'll unlock now. Probably won't. But anyway, let's give you this peacock tile. Oh, that's a little disappointing. I was hoping for something a bit more crazy. As for why you wanted that. Now, okay, we have some more personas that we can register thanks to the previous Full Moon boss. And now, do you have anything new available? I don't think you do now that I think about it. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. You know, I might wait until after Tartarus to accept that request. It's coming up pretty soon. A little less than a week, but as long as I remember to accept it after Tartarus, I want to leave my quest list free to get as many of those done as I can the next time we're there. Because, once again, the shadows that drop materials won't drop them unless you've accepted the request. Persona 4 added a lot more that you could actually do with shadow drops, but this game, they're mostly just for Elizabeth requests, and totally useless for selling. Except for a few particular ones that you get off of a few random bosses. Once again, we have to make the long slog back into school. You know, I wonder. You know what? Okay, let's just go to the club itself now. It's probably one of the few times that we've been able to do this, but I actually think going upstairs, going into the classroom and talking to Kaz would actually be faster than this. But I may as well just do this because I haven't really shown this in a while. We'll be able to see the persimmon tree soon. Don't worry, we'll be getting back to that social link soon. Now, if I can remember which one was the correct door. Okay, that has a ball on it. That says Puru, so that's clearly not. Oh, that's for the athletic field, so it actually must be this one. Oh yeah, of course, because it looks like a basketball court they're practicing for the... They're doing the Keno team practice in, so that makes sense. Now, on my first playthrough, this was the one time where I screwed up. I got to here and I got a generic spend time conversation, and so I had to reload an earlier save, because I, had to have a matching persona when I saw the move with Kaz. So, if you did not have a matching persona then, you won't get the rank up here, so it's really that vital. But if you see this, you'll know that you did it right. Thankfully, the whole club knows about the knee now, so they're gonna stop him from being too stupid. It's been a while since we went back to Hagakure with... And yes, I psychically know this is Hagakure because I've recorded this segment before. It's been a while since we went back to Hagakure with a social link, actually. Yeah, let's just say we're fine. Let's give the Apollo Justice answer. Yeah, and at this point, Kaz realizes that he'll be like that if he pushes himself too hard with his knee. Yeah, you know, it's not just you who's involved in all this. If you just wreck your knee beyond repair, all the other people in your life are going to be worried about you. He finally seems to be realizing that. And in fact, we're getting pretty high rank with this one too. We're at rank 9 of the Chariot Arcana. Almost there. Well, he's almost stopped being stupid. Maybe one day he'll learn that winning isn't everything.
Hey,
Hey yourself. Let me just check something. Okay, good. We are in great condition. So, tonight, well, we're going to Tartarus, basically, but let's see what's on the news. Nothing. Well, that makes my job easier. You are not saying anything different. You're also not saying anything different. I think everyone isn't saying much different here. Yeah, you're saying the same thing. Okay, you're explaining about the attack fallen thing. This is something that the attack doesn't actually tell you, though, so it basically acts like a pseudo knockdown at the same time. But it locks them out of heal and support. So, okay, if we go upstairs, Junpei is saying the same thing that he was saying yesterday. So, I'm going to go ahead and save now, and next time we'll be heading out to Tartarus for a new area. New requests, a new party member. Well, we've used them before, but it'll be their first time in Tartarus. So, lots of new things to show. See you then. I just realized I think there's only one boss and then the infamous one. Yeah. It approaches. It approaches.